Greetings friends, it's your favourite open world Easter egg hunter Ian Higton back once again and ready to uncover more secrets, references and hidden details, this time in Dying Light the Beast. I've managed to find 25 Easter eggs, or should that be Beaster eggs, stashed around Caster Woods. So let's kick things off with this first section that's all about movies and TV shows. Let's say T-Hanks to Techland for including this very clever nod to the movie Castaway, which you can find on this little island located just east of the St. Valentine Asylum. At first glance, this looks just like a hastily cobbled together shelter, complete with campfire and escape raft. But poke your head inside that shelter, however, and you'll not only spot a bunch of old packages that look suspiciously like the FedEx packages that Tom Hanks opens in the movie, but also you'll find this football in a crate, which is a direct reference to the volleyball that became Tom's imaginary pal Wilson in the movie. Head to this point on the highway northwest of the industrial park and you'll find a memorial to one of the most memorable deaths in the Final Destination series of movies. Make your way up the road and you'll soon come to this flatbed truck with a pile of logs on it. And what's that right behind it? Well, my dear viewers, that's the remains of a truck driver who appears to have taken a fatally flying log to the chest, mirroring the death of Officer Burke in the opening scene of Final Destination 2. Oof, now that is one hell of a splinter.
Maybe someone's truck.
And talking about splinters, during an early game side mission called Hydro Puzzle, Kyle will be asked to follow a yellow pipe into the sewers underneath Old Town in order to investigate a weird banging noise. At first, this place looks like any old zombie-infested sewer system, but there's a great little secret squirreled, or should that be turtled away in one of the tunnels leading off from this zombie-filled room. Dispatch the undeads and then have an explore, and you'll soon stumble across this pile of 4 pizza boxes. But Ian, that's just sewer trash, you might be thinking. Wrong! The presence of the sabre and a blue bandana hanging from a pipe on the ceiling make this a pretty obvious reference to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo in particular due to the weapon and bandana colour. But the inclusion of the dead rat on one of the pizza boxes really seals the deal here. Master Splinter! No! Try as I might, I've not been able to find a way to actually reach this area in-game, but if you look carefully at the southern edge of the map here, you can just about make out a body of water called Crystal Lake, which has a building next to it that is marked with the same icon as the Misty Forest Resort Lodge, which can be found further north. The fact that there's a resort lodge right next to this lake makes me think that this is almost certainly a reference to Friday the 13th's famous Camp Crystal Lake. But without going there physically, I can't fully confirm it. I guess I'll just keep a lookout for a route up there. See what I did there? Because the music goes That was a forced one, I'm sorry. Talking about Misty Forest Resort, if you head along to the Rangers station located right next to it, you will find the obligatory Walking Dead reference written on the rolling shutter here, which reads, "Don't open, dead inside," or "Don't dead, open inside," if you're reading it correctly. There are multiple loading screens in Dying Light the Beast, but at least one of them has a sneaky little reference to Lost in it, specifically the show's famous winning lottery numbers 4, 8, 15, 16, 23 and 42. According to this newspaper article, the winner of this €2 million jackpot is still unknown, so it sounds like they got lost before they could claim their prize. I'm heading back to the industrial park for this next reference, which is located on the top of the tall smokestack found right here between the 2 big buildings. If you're brave enough to scale this mighty erection, you'll find right at the very top a bunch of consumable items, one of which is completely unique. This bag of Mulder's sunflower seeds is made by Fox Farms, which is of course a reference to everyone's favourite FBI agent, Fox Mulder, from The X-Files. What makes this Easter egg even better though is that, once you've picked up the sunflower seeds, not only will you see Kyle chomping away on them in the game's main menu screen, but occasionally their empty shells can also be found littering the game's loading screens too. What an excellent X-Files Easter egg. The only issue now is how to get down from here. Oh well, there's only one thing for it. For science! This final movie referencing Easter egg is actually the first part in a chain of Easter eggs that I've spread throughout this video, as they don't all fit into this category, but you'll be able to access them all by making your way to this collapsed train tunnel, which can be found due east of the monastery. Keep your eyes peeled, and amongst the battered brickwork that blocks the tunnel entrance, you should notice this 9 3/4 symbol painted onto one of the walls. This number actually glows in the dark, so it's easier to spot at night time, but it is of course a reference to Harry Potter, the famous series about a school for Tory wizards. And just like in the books/movies, you can pass straight through this seemingly solid wall and into a brand new area. But where does it lead? Well, I'll tell you in the next section, which is all about other video games. Round the corner after passing through the 9 3/4 wall, you'll come face to blocky face with these massive Minecraft bricks that are blocking your route through the tunnel. Not all of these bricks can be broken, but those that can will shatter into satisfying cube shapes, creating a maze that leads deeper into the system. There are a couple of routes to go here, one of which leads to another cool Easter egg which I'll talk about later on in this video. But if you manage to mine your way to this vent, crawl through it and you will find a Minecraft-style wooden chest beyond it, which holds a couple of little treats. Dying Like the Beast's Old Town is full of buildings that you can enter and explore, but this one, found to the east of the town hall, contains a very sneaky reference to the Dark Brotherhood from the Elder Scrolls games. Look carefully at the environment here and you'll notice a desiccated cadaver, a circle of candles, and even a bloody handprint on the wall, all signs that point towards a Dark Brotherhood specific ritual known as the Black Sacrament, which, according to the Elder Scrolls wiki, is usually performed by a prospective client in the hopes of having a murder contract accepted and completed by one of their assassins. If that's too obscure for you though, make your way through this building to the back room where you'll find the dead body of someone who was stabbed through the heart with a drill while they sat on the toilet. That's got nothing to do with the Elder Scrolls, mind. I just thought it was pretty cool. I can't stay silent about this final video game Easter egg because it features the lifeless body of one James Sunderland, the protagonist from Silent Hill 2. Parkour your way to this part of Fisherholm Island and you'll find a truck stop that is full of zombies. Clear those out and then search for this dead body that's lying face down in the dirt. If you approach it, you'll be given the option to inspect it, and if you do, you'll flip it over, exposing the bloodied face of Jimmy Sunday himself. Now, I've seen a few people saying that this is actually meant to be Leon Kennedy due to the similarity in centre partings, but the classic Silent Hill 2 jeans and jacket combo here suggests otherwise. I've only been able to find one music-based Easter egg in The Beast so far, but it's a pretty cool one nonetheless, and it can be found right here next to the taxi rank in the Golden Pine area of the map. Sneak through the window at the back of this bus and you'll land next to a bacony looking body that's wearing a nifty pair of headphones. Ignore those though and look down at its lap to find a piece of paper which contains some hastily scribbled lyrics for a song called Choose Yourself, which is a parody of the song Lose Yourself by Eminem. Sweaty toes and weak lips I can deal with, but heavy balls and dad's spaghetti? No thank you, I prefer mom's spaghetti any day.
I don't have time to scrape your sorry ass off the sidewalk.
Righty-ho, this next section is all about Easter eggs related to the Dying Light franchise itself, and I'm kicking it off with this lovely bit of rainfall detail that happens when Kyle checks his map, when it's raining. Okay, so this doesn't have anything to do with the previous games in the series, but it is a nice touch, albeit a bit of a wet one. There's a cool little underground bunker that you can find if you head to this point on the map and look for an exposed vent shaft. Climb inside that vent and do a bit of exploring, and you will eventually find a stash that belonged to someone called Doomsday Dan. Unfortunately for Dan, he's already met his doom, but if you check this note lying on his computer desk, you will find out that he was inspired to create this bunker thanks to news he heard on the dark web about a place called Harran. And where have we heard the name Harran before? Well, that's the name of the fictional city where the first Dying Light was set.
Where am I? In paradise, can't you see?
Squeeze yourself down into another dusty bunker, this time located around the back of this building in Golden Pine, and you'll encounter a couple of cool posters on the wall. The first one actually could have gone in the movies section of this list, as it says The Good, the Bad and the Infected, which is of course a nod to the movie The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. For this section though, we're specifically looking at this Bozak poster, which, if you didn't know, is a reference to the Bozak Horde DLC for Dying Light.
You're in our game now, the game of life and death.
Remember when we climbed up this tower to find a bag of Fox Mulder's seeds? Well, near the top, you will find yourself on this platform, and if you have a look around, you will spot a familiar black walkie-talkie lying on the metal surface. But why is it familiar? Well, it's the exact same model of walkie-talkie that was used by both Kyle Crane in Dying Light and Aiden Caldwell in Dying Light 2. And on the subject of Dying Light 2's Aiden Caldwell, this figure sneaking into the operating room during the intro cutscene of the beast looks very familiar indeed. But what on earth would Aiden be doing here, I wonder? Well, maybe we'll find some answers to that question later on in the game. The final tie to other games in the Dying Light franchise is an Easter egg that references another Easter egg found in the first Dying Light game, namely the Korek machete, which was unlocked after kicking a certain blue box a total of 76 times. Hop up to the roof of the hardware store located just east of Cement Gardens and you will find a locked door. Pick the lock, go inside, and attached to the wall next to the doorway, you will find a locked box which you then need to hit a grand total of 77 times before it opens. But what's your reward for completing this mind-numbing task? Well, it's a one-handed legendary machete that plays some lovely musical stings whenever you slash a zombie with it. Okay, this next section features all of the beast's weird and wonderful secrets that couldn't be crammed into any of the previous categories, starting with this naughty nudie calendar that I've had to blur slightly because YouTube hates boobies more than it hates buckets of blood and gore. You'll find this saucy snapshot shoved into a toilet inside the cabin located at this point on the map. But in order to get a good look at it, you'll first need to batter the seat off with a weapon of your choosing. Now, I'm not sure who or what this image is referencing, but, and you'll have to take my word for it here, the woman featured in it looks like she's having an absolutely lovely time with a lamp, a saddle, and a very fancy hat. The third and final part of the railway-based Easter egg extravaganza that started with the Harry Potter wall, followed by the block-bashing Minecraft section, leads you through a door and into an old train tunnel where you're confronted by this gloriously golden locomotive. This is a direct reference to an old urban legend about a train laden with gold and treasure that was hidden by the Nazis in southwest Poland. Since no one has ever found that train in real life, what that train actually contains, if it even exists, remains a mystery. But in the virtual life of Kyle Crane, this one here holds a few treats, like throwable gold bars and a legendary consumable called the Last Hand of Glover, which allows you to fling flames from your fingers. See this big rock here next to another rock that's almost as big but isn't? Well, you'll find these mighty stones to the east of the monastery, and if you climb your way to the top of them, you'll find this next Easter egg, a shiny sword surrounded by an 8-pointed star made out of sticks. In order to remove this Excalibur wannabe from its rocky embrace, you'll first need to find 8 sigil stones that have been secreted around the map. But I ain't got time to show you where those are, so you'll just have to take my word for it. Just like with the Excalibur Easter egg, this next one needs you to find multiple items in order to properly unlock it. And, just like with the Excalibur Easter egg, I ain't got time to show you where those things are either. If you go wandering around the river that winds through Castor Woods though, keep an eye out for these logs, which play weird whistling sounds when you collect them. I found that one underneath this curving highway, for example, and after collecting 6 of them and returning them to a dam, you will unlock a hidden area featuring a human-sized beaver called Bozak, who featured in this Dying Light the Beast promotional video.
Visit Castor Woods today! Brochure lies.
When I first saw this bicycle, I thought it might have been a reference to Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, but then I googled a picture of said bicycle and it wasn't that at all. Interacting with this bike will actually start a short timed downhill race, which is reminiscent of the bike challenge that you could unlock in Dying Light 2 by finding 7 hidden rubber ducks. Thankfully, there are no ducks to find this time, so just head to this spot on the map, southwest of Old Town, and enjoy a lovely ride on a rickety red bicycle with a poorly animated front wheel. Now, there's a chance that there are a bunch of footballs dotted around the beast's open world, but so far I've only noticed this one, which I found lying very close to the corpse of Silent Hill 2's James Sunderland. This football doesn't do anything special really, just like a real ball you can punt it around for a bit until you get bored, and I was having a great time with it too, until I accidentally kicked the ball over a wall into my neighbour's garden and I was too scared to go around and ask for it back. And finally, head on over to this lovely little farmhouse located just west of the Alimental Food Swinery, whatever one of those is, and clamber onto the roof to reach this chunky chimney. Pull yourself up to the top of this brickwork shaft and you will find a massive bird's nest with an unexpected inhabitant inside. Yes, that's right, this is a bespectacled, cigarette-smoking, knife-wielding potato, and no, I don't know why it's there or what it means, but I do know that it's weird and I do kind of love it. And that's your lot, my friends. 26 Beaster eggs in Dying Light the Beast, done and dusted. But as this game has only just come out, I'm sure there are plenty more secrets still to be found around Castor Woods. As per usual, if I've missed any that you've found, let us know in the comments below, and if I get enough, I'll cobble together a part 2 of this video in the near future. Thanks for watching. Do like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to Eurogamer for almost daily videos about video games, and if you like Easter eggs as much as I do, stay tuned until the last 20 seconds of this video, as there'll be another awesome one for you to click on. Goodbye. Now is a great time to score some incredible games through Humble Choice. Live now through to October 7th, you can grab WWE 2K25, Destiny 2 Legacy Collection, The Plucky Squire, Return to Monkey Island, and more. Whether you're building up your backlog or discovering something new, this is the perfect time to pick up these fan favourites. Plus, every purchase supports a good cause, with this month's featured charity being Team Rubicon. Get a curated mix of PC games every month, all for just £11.49 a month.